Hello, everybody. Happy International Print Day. Yay. I can see everybody in the platform over there. Lots of people from around the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. Every year since 2014, the global print community comes together on social media to share our love of print using the International Print Day hashtag for 24 hours. And in this case, it's IPD21. The goal, very simple, to help print trend the planet. To date, International Print Day, which by the way is a holiday I created, has been recognized by the US Capitol, the United Nations, Good Morning America, counting countless brands, and of course, all of you. And we have generated more than 123 million impressions on Twitter alone. I will post the IPD stats tomorrow after 6 o'clock when our holiday ends. And because technically it's tomorrow in America, you can go to internationalprintday.org and download the official poster created by Craig Bauer from Design That Rocks and get all the information you need about International Print Day while you were there. This year, regarding that printer file, we created open files so that printers and press makers could add specialty effects and show off all that they can do, give them to customers. Lots of fun there. You know, that's what this is all about. And we are hosting it on the Project Peacock platform for a reason, because this is where people come and have been coming all year for printspiration. And if you are new, welcome to Project Peacock. And if you are a veteran, welcome back. So our Project Peacock community is growing. We have over 1,000 registered print and marketing professionals who have been joining us for ongoing printspiration, education, and access to resources from a plethora of Project Peacock partners on the platform who have the tools and tech you need to level up your communication game. Pop over to the partner area after the presentations, please, and see what they have to share. You can request intel and samples in their booths through the messaging option if they aren't there. Also, if you go to a booth, sometimes they can be having live presentations in there. There's a little join live button. If you click it and they're in there doing live video chats or presentations, you can jump right in. I also want to just give a quick shout out to the industry organizations and consultants who have joined us on the platform as well. And for all the business owners out there, they can really help your business grow. So please check them out too. The Project Peacock platform is open 24/7. Bookmark the login page, and there is plenty of content in the on-demand library to keep you busy. In case you didn't know, we also have a Project Peacock podcast, and you can find it by searching for podcasts from the Printiverse on your preferred podcast player. Meet the Project Peacock partners and learn more about they can help you do what you do. Last thing, upcoming events. We have a big event coming up, Project Peacock Point of Purchase on November 11th. This event is about packaging, displays, in-store materials, and all the print and marketing that surrounds retail environments, including printed decor, the cool stuff. Vicky Stroll, the design strategist and brand visionary, is going to provide an inspirational keynote on how to captivate an audience through print, and HP and Zycon will be on hand to show off the print applications any store, restaurant, or small business may need, and more partners will be announced. The good news, you are already registered, so before you leave the platform, click over on the left side of the platform and you'll see the other events, and just add it to your calendar, log in on November 11th at 6 o'clock, and that's all that has to happen. So that's it for that. So let's start the show. October 20th is International Print Day, and it's a global holiday, which means it is officially October 20th in Australia right now. And we have two awesome Aussies here beaming in from down under to kick it off. Steph and Kel, if you can join me, please. Hello, good day.
Hello.
Hello.
Kelly Northwood, if you could wave to everybody. is the Chief Executive Officer at the Real Media Collective, a strong advocate for the effectiveness and sustainability of media channels that deliver results. She has held several senior executive roles concurrently as the CEO of the Australia Asian Catalog Association, the director of Sierra Delta, which you'll have to let us know what that is, and executive director of TSA Limited. She sits on international committees across the United Kingdom, Europe, and North America. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, welcome to everybody else here listening.
Yay. Stephanie Gadden, if you could wave to everyone, Steph. Stephanie is the official Australian representative for International Print Day, and South Africa too, by the way, a passionate print advocate and self-confessed greenie. Steph is thrilled to be joining the Real Media Collective as of October as the General Manager of Member Programs and Analytics, bringing wealth of skills and knowledge about the intersection of print and technology. She has previously held executive roles, including the CEO of a global print MIS and software provider, which operates across Africa, Asia, and the Pacific. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us. What time is it in Australia?
9 o'clock in the morning, so it's not too late.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Kel, can you please tell everybody what more about the Real Media Collective?
Sure. The Real Media Collective, we're an industry association, and we formed about 4 years ago by merging, as we all know across our industries, there's a lot of associations. So we got together 3 like-minded associations. And when we were branding and working out what should we call ourselves, we went through an entire process, and essentially we landed on the position that we wanted to call ourselves real because print is real. It's tactile, it's physical, and it also delivers real results. It's effective. It's one of the highest trust index performers across all media channels. It has a beautiful marriage with digital because they don't conflict. They deliver real outcomes together and in partnership. Their strengths complement each other. And instead of calling ourselves an association, we like the idea of being a collective. We're part of a collective media universe now. We aren't just print, you know. In the good old days when I started in advertising land, we had print or TV or radio. No one could afford telly, so it was print. Now we've got about 13 different channels we can use. So the whole, I guess, philosophy of the Real Media Collective is about navigating print's future. And we believe it's a very strong one, and also helping all of our members, printers, paper mills, merchants, suppliers, OEMs, understand how to sell print in today's landscape, but also how to talk about print in today's landscape. Stop talking about commodities and specifications, and let's start talking about outcomes, case studies, ROI, you know, these sorts of things. And we spend a lot of time and have a lot of campaigns that promote all of that sort of thinking and philosophy. So we're having a lot of fun with it.
You also have events. I know last year you had your event was all year long. Yeah. What's going on with that?
So last year, like everybody, we couldn't do road shows and you know, physical beers, catch ups and networking as we do a lot here. It's pretty hot in Australia. So we switched, we pivoted like everyone else into webinars, and we ran last year Rebuild Together, of which you were lovely, one of our keynote speakers. And we ran that for 8 weeks across a variety of topics for the industry, from people, you know, helping businesses who were preparing for acquisition or helping businesses to buy other businesses. We also had, you know, how to sell the value of print for sales teams, and training went through all the 8 weeks. And they were so successful that we then launched another series this year, which went for 11 weeks, which was called The Power of Print. And that included, we had a mental wellness session for everybody. We talked about return to work, lockdown, you know, pressures. We had clients also present about what they expect from us as an industry and what they want from printers. We had designers. It was it started off being 10 weeks, and we had a bonus week, which was really powerful. And with those webinars, with engagements and everything else, we're getting over 20,000 engagement points. So they've been incredibly powerful. and effective, and really leaving people with tools that they can take back into their businesses, which is what we want to do. We want really strong print companies and really strong print industry, and that's what we're working on. We also do our awards, which are our Real Media Awards, and they are for customers to enter. So it's not necessarily the industry. We have industry awards, of course, but the Real Media Awards, again, when customers have produced a really amazing campaign with real media, print, and real effects and real effectiveness and ROMI outcomes. And so the customers, brands, they put in their entries about how effective their print campaign was, and we award them and applaud them for having successful print campaigns. They also do how they use print with other channels, which is a really important thing for us to learn and embrace as an industry as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I had the privilege of going to Print X event in 2019, and I really got to see the Australian print community up close and personal. And I am still amazed at how collaborative and friendly you are all with each other. I thought for sure I was going to see like a cage match going on, because I mean, you're kind of out there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, right? And I mean, if somebody's not printing with you, they're printing with someone that you probably know, and but it wasn't like that at all. Everybody was like helping each other, and if somebody couldn't do something, they would just say, well, go to that person instead. I mean, it was really incredible. And Stephanie, I want to bring you into the conversation, because you're actually the reason I ended up at Print X. And one of the things I noticed is that the Australians love International Print Day, and a lot of that has to do because of you. So can you discuss that a little, and also about anything you want to say about the community, because you actually worked for one of the print organizations for a little while there too.
I did before, and I'm back in the industry again. International Print has always been a labor of love for me, just pushing out how much I love print. And of course, I jumped on it when you and I in the community were talking about what do we do with this thing, and it has grown year on year across the community of printers in Australia, where we just encourage people to share how much they love print, even if they don't really necessarily get or understand the point of it, or if they don't really get or understand whatever the theme is for the year. We really just encourage them, if nothing else, tell people how much you love what you do, just push that out. And we have grown to so many users and so many printing companies and marketing firms that jump on this every year. They think it is a fantastic initiative. And I remember from 2018 and 19 how amazed I was sitting back looking at what the campaign had achieved through the years, and just sitting and watching people putting up these Instagram videos and professionally produced videos of their clients talking about how much they love the work that they do, and the brands talking about how much print is so much a part of life. And we even had a printer who played a puzzle game on Instagram, where they posted like one part of a word every couple of hours through the day, and people had to guess. And at the end of the day, they gave the answer, which I thought was such an incredible way to do. Like, I love
totally
print, and they were using,
yes.
Yeah, they used the type blocks from the old things, and they just put a different couple of letters up, and it was this puzzle that they built up through the day.
Oh, cool.
And such creative ways of people sharing how much they love what they do, and the passion and the craft, and also the effectiveness. Like, people talking about their best campaigns and what made it amazing, and the results that they had. So for me particularly, and for the market in general, it's just loving print. If nothing else, just go for it, hell for leather. Let's share how much we love what we do.
I mean, I would say that I have some notoriety in the printing industry, but I would say that in Australia, I felt like Angelina Jolie. I mean, everybody knew. I never felt like print famous until I got off the plane in Australia. And I was just like, everyone was like, you're the International Print Day person. I'm like, yes. I mean, it was one of the craziest, best experiences. I think now I really kind of understand what it feels like to be a celebrity, although nobody did who wore it better with me or anything like that. Me or the janitor or something like that.
We take our celebrities in Australia and we put them on reality TV shows. So,
Oh,
so when
okay.
you're ready to join a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, let me know.
Okay. Okay. I actually know that one. Okay, Kel, let's bring you back into the conversation. So this year, the theme of International Print Day is Print Again. Now, I defined it as a celebration of the revival of print in the marketing mix. COVID certainly made print something that people cared about in a renewed way again, and that's where Print Again comes from. And also that if you use print marketing, the results will be so great that you'll want to print again and again and again and again. So let me ask you guys, what does that mean to you? Did you interpret it differently? And tell us. Share some Print Again with us, either of you.
I think for me, Print Again and what we're seeing definitely across the numbers in Australia and globally is that there is a resurgence of print because we have missed humanity in COVID. We've missed physical and it's not just the physical presence that print provides, which is very unique compared to other media channels, but it's also the emotional. So print in its very nature touches a lot of senses, sight, touch, smell, sound, if you can crinkle up some beautiful paper. And that humanity is a unique element of print. And I think that's why we're seeing where a lot of brands and customers did pivot into the digital world and universe. And that's totally understandable when we're also staring at screens. But we also saw, and we did launch quite a few case studies about in-home media. You've got this captive audience sitting at home, sick of screens. And I think for me, Print Again is about, going back to all of the things that we love about it, the humanity of it, the emotion of it. And that's print's future, actually. I think print may not be where it once was, in the 80s, where we just mass produced millions and millions and millions of copies. Print Again is now far more targeted, far more beautiful, far more bespoke, far more meaningful because of that humanity. And that is, we mustn't abandon that as an industry. We must embrace that because that's a skill and a trait that no other channel has. So harness that Print Again and that feel again. If we instead of print again, feel again. And that's what I think post-COVID is about, starting to get back out and live again,
Yeah, I would continue those thoughts, agree. There was also this point somewhere through the various lockdowns that we went through where people were looking for ways to make their Zoom meetings more engaging. And we'd gotten past presentations, we'd gotten past videos, we'd gotten past everything that was happening on the screen. And we started to see events that would happen where the event was happening on Zoom, but a package would arrive at the registration, the person who's registered, and this package would include some things that, were part of the presentation or part of the event that they could have in person. And all of those things, whether it was a meal kit for a prepared meal to have, a dinner together with somebody, or, some kind of marketing event, they all included printed items that were very well thought out, very much part of that whole brand and that picture. And certainly I saw on several instances where those printed pieces, the little beautiful cards or the packaging that the thing got sent in, were suddenly making appearances on social media because people were going, look at this beautiful box that I got with these beautiful things inside. And so print was coming back in and just showing up in the digital channels without people actually having to push it. So that for me, that was here's print again. It's back.
Yeah.
It's in our lives, and just hooking people in with that real experience that Kelly was talking about earlier. It's a real media. It's channel. It's tangible. It's it hooks you in a way that a picture on a screen might not necessarily do that.
I couldn't agree with you more. And just to echo what you're saying in another way, there's actually presentations in the Project Peacock On Demand library about this and how brands are really post-COVID, when we get there, or starting now, are really interested in telling their story, in letting people know who they are, what they stand for, and they are doing it with print. I love digital media. I think, like Kelly said, I think everything needs to work together. I don't have a one or the other thing. I think it's what works for the campaign. But in this particular instance, those brands might use digital media to support these executions that they're doing, but they want people to stop and read and have it in their hand and have a connection to it. So I think that that's really important. Let's you had a note here that you wanted to talk about inclusivity, and I think that's really important. So Kelly, you want to take that?
Was that I missed the word, exclusivity?
Inclusive, that there's a digital divide, you know. Yes.
So when we talk about social inclusivity, we have in Australia, we've been doing a lot of research and we're looking globally as well. So we've seen, and the trend is global, where transactional mail, you know, bills and statements, they're moving online. And if you want your printed bill or statement, you know, you have to pay for it now. And we've been running a campaign here called Keep Me Posted. And there is a Keep Me Posted campaign running across North America and the UK and Europe also.
Wait, did you just say you had to pay for something? What?
Yeah, so companies would charge you as a customer, you know, $3 or $2.50 if you want to have a paper bill sent to you. So if I'm your customer, now we have companies charging us for to get my bill that you want me to pay. If you have it digitally sent to you, of course, they won't charge you. And we just thought that was ridiculous. and off we marched to Parliament, to our government, and we started lobbying pretty hard. And it became this very strong movement. And what we actually found from that, going back to your question about social inclusivity, was that people manage their finances better from receiving paper bills over digital bills. They have a better understanding of their financial position. We found that the elderly were had different digital literacy skills, so they were being further alienated. We found that the digital divide, the most impacted are our most vulnerable citizens, lower socioeconomic, our Indigenous peoples. And so these big multinational super profit companies making these decisions about billing, digital or print, were making these decisions based on obviously their bottom line. And just forgetting that print, everyone can access print. You don't have to necessarily be digitally literate. You have a better comprehension of print. You don't have to have a particular software or laptop or printer at home, or trying to read it on your smartphone. And so we talk a lot now about the community aspect of print. Print is socially inclusive. It doesn't matter, whether where you sit on the socio-economic scale. Doesn't matter where you sit. Australia's got some regional areas that still don't have internet connectivity or have intermittent connectivity. So we talk now a lot about the social inclusivity of print, and we spend a lot of time now educating government about that, because it seems to have, we sort of have gotten all carried away with the shiny new toy in the room and forgot who we leave behind. And print has a great responsibility in that regard, as well as there's the marketing and the promotion and those things. But there's also a responsibility to remember the social inclusivity of print. It's a really powerful form.
Well, I thank you for championing that. It's so important. And you're right. At the end of the day, corporations, they look at a bottom line and they're like, why am I mailing this and printing it and doing this? They sometimes they opt you out unless you opt back in. And you're absolutely right. It's not fair to everybody. And thank you so much for taking that upon yourself and getting it done. The other thing about Australia is that you guys are also, you were all Two Sides crazy for you love Two Sides over there too, which is the organization that, says print and paper have a great environmental story to tell. Full disclosure, when Two Sides first started, I helped Two Sides North America kick off, and I worked with them for quite some time. Now the Love Paper campaign is coming your way. Steph, or do you know about that, or we stay with Kelly?
Yeah, I'll briefly jump in and Kelly can And
And then I
in,
just
and
want
in
to
the
say that,
executive view.
okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no. So Love Paper has come our way, and we are launching our Australian campaign through October. It's, I think, a beautiful campaign because we really took a long, hard look at who loves paper before we came up with what we're going to do to regionalize, the campaign. It's a lot like Two Sides in the sense that, different countries have different stats and information, and the same with us. But we really took a deep dive into thinking about where paper sits in our lives and who loves paper. And we've taken, all these things like children's storybooks. I mean, who doesn't have a memory of being read to potentially across childhood? Obviously not everybody, but most of us do. We've got these really good, memories of childhood stories, coloring books in children's hands, Valentine's cards, anniversary cards, cards for special occasions. Somebody sends you a bunch of flowers and it comes with a card. The flowers will eventually disappear and die, but you keep that card for a while. And especially if you love paper, like I do, you hold on to things that are printed on paper. You love the feel of it, and you open it, it's got this warm feeling and it wraps its arms around you. So we have a long, deep set of workshops into that, around who these people are that love paper. And that's really becoming, as the campaign launches, who we're targeting the campaign at, and trying to draw attention to the fact that, first of all, everybody has paper in their lives, and we all actually like or love something that is made of paper. We might not think of it in that sense, because when you say paper, people immediately think, oh, newspapers or bills or, business correspondence. But everybody does actually have a personal connection to something that's made of paper somewhere along the way. So that's really the focus of this personal love of, the evocative emotions, the wrapping of the arms around us, and then weaving into that the stories of the fact that, paper and forestry, and how many people in Australia are employed across those industries. It provides employment. Paper loves us. We should love paper back. I think the numbers are 238 or 258,000, Kelly, employed.
258,000 plus New Zealand, so 309,000 across the region. And I know a lot of international countries are listening, saying it's not much. I mean, Australia's only little, so is New Zealand combined. We're about 29 million people, so we're not huge. But I think Two Sides, and Deb, you mentioned that in the introduction, we will still maintain that campaign. It's a very important campaign, and we manage that across Australia and New Zealand. It's our B2B campaign. That's the campaign where we have all the science and the LCAs and all the data, and that we will continue to maintain that for the region. We have done for 11 years in Australia and 6 in New Zealand, so it's not going anywhere. We love Jonathan and the team in the UK. And they're awesome, and everyone, Two Sides, just Google it across the country, and you can have a look at all that information. However, as Steph said, one of the things that we found with consumers seem, when we surveyed them, they have a really strong understanding that fibre-based packaging is better for the environment. So when McDonald's switched from plastic straws to paper straws, with Starbucks removed the liners, so there's this really strong consumer knowledge that fibre-based packaging is recyclable, renewable. However, then when we sort of went down the line a bit and talked about magazines, or we talked about printed brochures, people started to say, oh no, that's bad for the environment. And that's when we knew, whilst Two Sides is really good for business, we've got to connect the consumer dots. And that's what Love Paper is about. It's about talking to consumers and saying, hey, you know how paper straws are better? So's a printed magazine, and this is why, and getting that education, as well as what Steph's talking about, reminding people why they love it. And also, we employ a lot of people, and we're a big industry locally and globally, and renewable, biodiversity with forestry. We're working with PEFC. So we're working with, global organisations to really promote this message home. I'm pretty excited. It's launching, soft launch this month, and hard launch to the peeps in November. So it's exciting. We can't wait to get on the airwaves and start yakking about print again on the radio and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun.
Excellent. I love that you called it fiber-based. I don't think I've heard that before, but I think I like it because it takes the conversation right away from trees immediately. And I think it's very clever. So we're going to wrap up with you. You guys, Steph, how can people get in touch with you? And I know you're going to be doing a lot of sharing today on International Print Day Australia's accounts. Can you let everyone know how to get in touch, and then we'll wrap it up with Kelly.
Yeah, so everyone can follow us, the Real Media Collective. We have a LinkedIn page, a Twitter profile, an Instagram profile that's becoming active. Just Google us, the Real Media Collective. They can also follow International Print Day Australia, as well as a mechanism to get in touch with me, and then find the Real Media Collective channels there. And our website as well, therealmediacollective.com.au.
Cool. If you have a Peacock login, if you don't mind, just jump into the chat and you can put all the links there so everyone can.
I'll put all the links in. Yep.
Perfect.
No worries. Done.
Kelly, how can everyone connect with the Real Media Collective and you? And is there, I'm assuming that all of your online activity is open to everybody. And if it hits at the right time zone, it actually can work out. If Americans can stay up to like 8 or 9 o'clock, sometimes it works out. I think I presented for you a little later than that day, but I still had a good time, although I was a little delirious. Tell everybody about how to get in touch with your amazing organization and all the amazing things that you do.
Yeah, thank you. The Real Media Collective, spellitout.com.au has everything. Any and all of our webinars we record. So even if we've got different time zones, you can just go into the webinar link and download them or watch them in your own leisure. We also, when we do our webinars, we then also issue class notes, which are another way that you can sort of just look through the class notes and get the key points of the presentation. And also people who attend or register our events live at the end of the series, even if you only attended one webinar, we send we print the class notes and send them out to you. So we've sent them to international shores before, and we'll continue to do that. So we welcome that. We've also got 2 sides which you can Google, and you've got North America as well, with stats across North America, UK, Brazil, South Africa and Europe. And another campaign that we run is Value of Paper and Print. So if you go to vop.com.au, it is filled with international case studies of amazingly cool print applications, and you can just download the PDFs and share them with your customers and your clients and your staff. It's we're really proud of that site, and it's open to people. So that's what we're about, and I think that's what International Print Day is about. It's about sharing with each other, collaborating, and just remembering that at times we're a small industry because we all do know each other, and it's a nice community, but we're a really big, powerful media channel, and we've got to remember that.
I love it. Thank you, awesome Aussies. Thank you so much for coming and joining us and officially kicking off International Print Day in the correct time zone. So thank you so much. If you can turn off your mics and your cameras, and we can get Francesco Romano and Jim Hamilton on the line.
Thank you.
Cheers.